And now, Mike's thoughts.
The internet detectives are at it again. They're out there spreading all types of these false rumors, and here comes a fire starter of all fire starters. Guys, Shedeur Sanders. I don't know what y'all drinking over there in Cleveland. I don't know what y'all smoking over there in Oregon. I don't know what you guys are doing in Colorado. But Shedeur Sanders, a thong? Guys, Shedeur Sanders was not wearing a thong. Shedeur Sanders would not wear a thong. And the internet has reached this part of the season where literally everybody gets bored. Everybody starts drooling over fiction and the migraines, and they just start making shit up at the end of the day. Let's be clear about this. Before the rumors get legs and start running wheel routes, and guys, Shedeur Sanders did not wear a thong. Not at practice, not in a game, not under pads, not out on the town, not anywhere except for the imaginations of the timeline of these professional weirdos. But let's play in the sandbox of absurdity for a second. Let's say he did wear a thong. Let's say the man walked down in the field rocking the boldest undergarment choice in NFL history. Well, guess what? He dropped 300-yard passing. 300! And if that setup that allegedly belonged on South Beach, the little thong that he wore, wear it, baby. If you're throwing 300-yard games, wear it. You know who else is not throwing 300-yard games? Drake May. Maybe Drake May should wear a thong. If he's throwing up 300-yard games, wear it. Guys, but the internet needs to relax. Hydrate and maybe touch just go out there and touch some grass. Maybe 2 pieces of grass. If the wildest of controversies of the week's imaginations of underwear, this means the man's playing well enough that the critics have run out of football things to complain about. Case closed. Move on. Shedeur Sanders is the man, the myth, the legend. Cue that intro. Are you ready for the best damn NFL show on the planet? Man Hour Nation.
Yeah.
Rise up.
Yeah. Hey, let's go. Hitting that gridiron, we going hard, we running the plays. You know the vibe, only the strong survive. Gotta keep your head in the game. Talking NFL, uncut, straight raw. Steady bringing that sauce. We about to take off. Get it hype, this man, our sport talk. Yeah, yeah. From the quarterback to the lineman, everybody bringing heat. You don't really want to try them. Hey, hey, who gon' win? It's a battle of the giants. This show is the flyest. Nobody can deny it. This is Man Hour. Sport Talk. Man Hour. Sport Talk. What team you reppin'? We keep it interesting. Who caught another down? Who got that interception? This is Man Hour. Sport Talk. Man Hour. Sport Talk. What team you reppin'? We keep it interesting. Who caught another down? Who got that interception?
Let's go. What is up, Man Hour Nation, guys? Welcome to Man Hour NFL Talk, your go-to spot for live, raw, uncut NFL talk. I'm so glad you're rolling with us today. But guys, before we jump into today's action, head over to manhourradio.com. That's where we find all the exclusive merchandise, the freshest of the freshest blogs, and everything happening with the Man Hour show. So if you want to rock the rep Man Hour, guys, then it's the spot to do it. Guys, make sure you hit the like button, hit the share button, and hit the subscribe button as well. So remember, it's a live interactive show. That is the easiest way to stay plugged into us. But if you want the full Man Hour experience, guys, become a Pigskin Pundit. That is our members-only community where you get free entry to the weekly NFL pick'ems, giveaways, exclusive merchandise, and bonus live streams that only the Pigskin Pundits get. So if you're all about that next level access, guys, join the squad today. Now remember, this is a live interactive show. So drop your thoughts, your opinions, and your hottest of the hottest takes in the comments down below, because I want to hear from you. I want to hear your thoughts and your opinions and your thoughts of why the Indianapolis Colts will ultimately make the playoffs. So guys, there's a poll down in the description below. It simply put says, will the Colts make the playoffs? Yes or no? Right now, it is about 50-50. It is about 50-50 of who is going to make said playoff race. But we got to welcome some people in the chat before we get carried away. We got to welcome the man, the myth, the legend, the CEO of the Pigskin Pundits.
Get you some.
Mr. Jim Powell says maybe the thong was for this hemorrhoid support. Itches without digging on national TV. Slow it down, baby. But if the man's going to put up 300-plus yards passing while wearing a thong, let it be, baby. Let it be, let it be, let it be. But you know what else we don't got to be? We cannot let the Eagles fans be, because we got to kick a dog while they're lying. And Rex says yes. Yes, the Colts will make the playoffs. Rex? Many people over here on the youtube.com/Matt are disagreeing with you. We're at 67% no over here. Tech Traveler says, hey, what's up, Tech Travelers? Hope you're having a good day, buddy. Hope you're having a good old day traveling with those techs. But we got to keep beating the dead dog while they're down. Whether dead dog is down, we got to keep beating them. And we got to talk about the struggle of Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles again tonight. Yes, I know. But Eagles fans, let's talk about what's really happening in Philly right now. Because you got Jalen Hurts, a guy who has already taken his team to the promised land, a guy who has won the team the promised land game, the Super Bowl, that is. 19 touchdowns and only 6 so far this season, completing nearly 65% of his throws, adding 5 rushing touchdowns, and somehow this offense looks like Kafari belonging in a tow away a hay wagon. What is going on in Philadelphia with Jalen Hurts and the rest of this offense? Because, guys, let's just be honest. Jalen Hurts is a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. Hell, you could argue he's a top 5 quarterback when the toolbox is used the right way. And yet this Eagles offense, it's not midnight green. It's a rusted sled going downhill, losing parts on the way down. Chat, on a scale of 1 to 10, how worried are you about the Philadelphia Eagles offense right now? Drop that number in the chat, because I do not think Jalen Hurts is the problem in Philadelphia. Let's get this out of the way right now. This is not a Jalen Hurts problem. Let me repeat that for the people in the back. This is not a Jalen Hurts problem. This is the coaches have no idea how to use their superstars problem. It's a coaching issue in Philadelphia. Go back to 2024. Philadelphia was the bully on the playground. Over a 2,000-yard rusher on the team, a.k.a. Saquon Barkley. They lined up and they punched you in the mouth over and over and over again. And only when they threw when they had to. They had that run-heavy identity that made Jalen Hurts elite. RPOs, a little bit of play action, deep shots, and off-the-ground game, brutal poetry in action. Now we fast forward to 2025. A.J. Brown gets a little upset. A.J. Brown starts whining, I want the ball more. He gets upset. And suddenly, Philly thinks they're the Kansas City Chiefs, except without Andy Reid drawing up the blueprints. Over the last 5 games, A.J. Brown has been one of the most targeted receivers in the entire NFL. Not one of the most targeted wide receiver in the NFL the last 5 games. Volume through the roof. But here's the scoreboard. The Eagles have lost 3 straight. They have coughed up 9 turnovers in those 3 games. And after just having 4 turnovers in their first 10. That's not talent issue at quarterback. This is a physiological problem on the sideline. That's on the guys with the headsets and the laminated sheets of confusion. Chat, question. Is this more of a Hurts or is it on coaching? Type Hurts in the comments or if it's coaching so I know where you stand. But let's zoom in on that 22-19 loss for the LA Chargers on Monday Night Football. We're going to call this the Monday Night Meltdown. The game was a case study in how to waste a franchise quarterback. This game was a case study of how to waste prime players in their prime time, a.k.a. Saquon Barkley, Tank Bigsby, Devontae Smith, a little A.J. Brown. Even Nick Sirianni said it. This one stinks. Yeah, coach, it really does. Your offense sucks. Hurts turned the ball over 5 times in that game. 5! First time in his career, he's thrown 4 interceptions in a single night. His stat line, 21 for 40, 240 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 4 interceptions, and a 31.2 passer rating. That is tough. That's his 5th career game under 40 passer rating. Second only to Mac Jones since 2020. That is not the list you want to be on. Let's just be flat out honest about it. But here's where context matters. You can look at the stats, but you got to dive deeper. This offense was consistently off schedule, playing behind the sticks per se. The play calling was predictable, and the Chargers defense knew exactly where the ball was going each and every time. On the flip side, drops killed drives. The offensive line looked like a game musical chairs, not a unit. And then this is where the insane sequence starts. Interception, fumble, recovery. Hurts fumbles it again. 2 turnovers on in one play. That kind of chaos hasn't happened since the disco era. Matter of fact, it's never happened. And after all that, Hurts steps up to the mic and says, no excuses. I have to find a way to win. Guys, simply put, that is leadership. That is accountability. That's not your weak link. That is your top 5 quarterback taking ownership. Chat, let's be honest. Do you blame Hurts for this game? Yes or no? Let's tell the truth about what's actually broken in Philadelphia. The style that made the Philadelphia dangerous is gone. Saquon Barkley ran for 122 yards on their last outing. Sounds great, right? Stats look, mucho gracias, right? But 71 of those yards came on just 2 plays. Outside of that, this run game was paper airplane in a hurricane. No consistent push, no rhythm. Matter of fact, use the guy more. Use him and abuse him. On the season, the Eagles are averaging about 110 yards rushing per game and about 212 yards passing per game. That's in the middle of the league. 20th something in both categories. That is not what you expect from the supposed Super Bowl contender with a dual threat quarterback. Even the advanced metrics say it too. The rushing efficiency is actually solid when they commit to it. The passing game below average than in EPA, expected pass average. Too many negative plays, too many forced balls. And look at the scoring trend. Philly hasn't cracked 21 points since week 8. Coming out of the bye, you expect adjustments. Instead, you get this: 10 points, 16 points, 21, 15, 19. That's not an average. That is not an offense trending up. That's a countdown to disaster yet again. If this defense wasn't playing at elite level right now, we'd be talking about a 5-game SID, if not a 6-game SID, not just a rough patch. Guys, NetGen Stats has the Eagles still around a 92% chance to win the division. The standings look fine. However, the football doesn't. Chat, what is the bigger issue? Play calling, offensive line, or wide receiver drama? Pick one and drop it down in the comments down below. Guys, the bottom line is this. Jalen Hurts is not falling apart. Nick Sirianni, offense identity is. Elite quarterbacks do not turn trash overnight. But offenses absolutely crumble when coaches abandon what works. Philly had a juggernaut. Run-first offense, physical style that nobody wanted to see in January. And now it feels like egos, impatient, and the need to force-feed one receiver has turned into a powerhouse, into a panic room. Hurts is still the guy. 19 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, responsible for 24 touchdowns total this season. He's being asked to bail out a broken philosophy instead of being put in positions to dominate. Somebody in the building has to swallow their pride and go back to what made this team special and let Jalen be Jalen again. Let Saquon be Saquon and Barkley again. Guys, but this is the question of the day. Man Hour Nation, Pigskin Pundits. Can the Philadelphia Eagles save their season by going back to the run-heavy offense, bully ball identity that made Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley elite? Or is this offense officially broken and beyond repair? Comment right now. Type run it back if you think they can fix it with the old formula, or type broken if you think they're done and busted. If you love real, unfiltered NFL talk just like this, guys, do me a favor. Hit the like button, smash the subscribe button. Remember, we're live Monday through Friday, 7 PM East Coast time right here at youtube.com/manhour. Now, this is a live and after show. Jump into your comments and let's see what's going on down there. Jim Powell says, haters will say he's doing what he has to do. Fans will say he's doing exactly what he has to do. I will say, I don't care. Raiders Nation for life, baby. Damn, Jim. Okay. Rex McCleaning. What's up, Rex? He says falling apart. The Eagles are simply falling apart. Offense is falling apart. Defense is falling. Like, everybody's falling apart. Rex. Coaching staff is falling apart. Let's flash back to 2022, 2023. Eagles make it to the Super Bowl. They ultimately get beat by the Kansas City Chiefs by a fainted Bradbury holding call. Let's call it what it is. It was a bullshit call. Next season, they started out, 10-0, 9-0. States were rolling back-to-back Super Bowls be coming, baby. And then the wheels fell off the wagon, exactly what we're seeing right now. Nick Sirianni is a great coach when things are rolling, everything are clicking, and things are easy. But when he has to coach the locker room, coach this and coach that, just not worry about football, ooh, baby. Oh, baby, oh, baby, oh, baby. He's not very good. That's what it comes down to. When Nick Sirianni has to focus on, besides coaching, he's not a very good coach, and he lets everything else crumble behind him. This is what happened with the Philadelphia Eagles right now. They need a reality check. They need the offseason. They need to miss the playoffs, and Nick Sirianni needs to wake the F up. That's what it comes down to. John Peoples is in the chat. What's up, man?
Pigskin pun. Get you some.
Guys, John is a pigskin pundit. Guys, be like John and hit the membership tab down below. As little as $1.99 a month, guys, you get free entry to the NFL pick'ems, giveaways, merchandise, and all that good stuff. As we said in the pre-show, he says, "What's up?" What's up, old man River? What's up? What's up? What's up? Not Philip Rivers, John Rivers, old man Rivers over here at Pigskin Pundits. Jim Powell says also, Andy Reid's DNA is all over every buffet in the greater Philadelphia Eagle. Go find it and build your own, Andy Reid. Listen, I love me a good buffet. If you do not love you a good buffet, if you not like walking around and seeing like the peas mixed with the macaroni and cheese with a little bit of chocolate in it, are you really living life? Like, are you really living? Are you living life? Like, let's just be honest. Because a good buffet cannot go wrong, man. You cannot go wrong with a good buffet. Pickle Luke said, super chat, $20. Okay, he didn't do that, but okay. What's up, Pickle Luke? Hope you're having a good old day. He has a channel all about pickles. All about the pickles. He loves him some pickles. Jim Powell says, Kelsey was bigger anchor than just a center. You know, Jim, I would say Jason Kelsey is what's needed on this team right now. But if you flash back to this Super Bowl, wasn't he on the following team? Or was that his last year? I can't remember. Either way, they need a veteran player voice to shut A.J. Brown up, to get Jalen Hurts back in his role, to talk to the coaches like, hey, give Saquon the ball. Jim?
Pigskin pun. Get you some.
You are exactly right. They need something to rattle the bird cage. They need something to say, hey, Nick Sirianni or whoever the hell the offensive coordinator, I can never remember his name. You're like, don't worry about your your house getting egged. If you didn't suck at play calling, your shit wouldn't be egged. You should be lucky that's all they did. I'm just saying. And Rex says no. No. Let me see about what I asked. Sorry, Rex. I should have saw that earlier. Run it back if they can fix it, or broken if you think it's done. And I think Rex is saying that they're done. Rex is saying that the Philadelphia Eagles are done. Finito, cara, opa, ita, oh. So chat down below. Type yes or type no if you think the Philadelphia Eagles will make the playoffs. Not win the NFC East, because we all know the Dallas Cowboys are going to win the NFC East. But can they make the playoffs? That is the question. That is the question. Yes, you think they'll make the playoffs, or no, you won't, or they don't make the playoffs. Guys, let's have that discussion down there in the comments down below. But Cleveland, just because the Browns are officially out of the playoffs doesn't mean these games do not matter, baby. Just because Cleveland is fresh out of the playoffs doesn't matter that these next 4 games are going to be must-see TV. In fact, these next 4 games might be the biggest job interview Shedeur Sanders will ever have. Guys, Shedeur Sanders is not calling this an audition. He's saying all the right things to the media right now. But let's just be perfectly real. Every snap is a resume line. Every throw is a vote in his future in Cleveland. Every interception is a merit on his record. Every time he flashes his gold watch that he's not wearing on the sidelines is another check in the right box. Chat, real quick, on a scale of 1 to 10, how confident are you that Shedeur Sanders can be the Browns quarterback 1 in 2026? Drop the number in the chat right now. Guys, Shedeur Sanders talked to the media this week, and he showed more maturity than some vets who have been melting down on national TV the last few weeks. He was asked if these last games is his shot to earn the starting job for 2026, and he shut that down in the calmest way possible. He said, "This is my life here. I got to focus on playing my best. If I'm here, I'm here. If I'm not, I'm not. There's no begging in his voice. There's no desperation in his voice. Just control of the controllables, quarterback zen. Shedeur Sanders is looking like a seasoned veteran with just 4 games under his belt. He's not playing like a guy clinging to the future that may not be there. He's playing like a guy focused on the next read, the next throw, the next drive, knowing that will decide his future. Chat. Does this quote make you more confident in Shedeur Sanders or more worried that he may not be back? Type confident or type worried in the chat. Now let's talk about the numbers of Shedeur Sanders, because feelings are one thing, but production is another thing. 300 plus yards, right? Since being named starter in week 12, Shedeur Sanders has right around 700 yards passing, 5 passing touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and a completion percentage of 52%, along with 60 yards rushing. For a rookie dropped to a 3-10 team that's already sinking, that's not empty stat padding. That is survivor mode with flashes of promise. And the Titans game. Ooh, the Titans game. Let's flash back to that. This was the first real I'm here performance. He was 23 for 42, 364 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, and a passing rating just under 100. That's not game line manager. That's a you better pay attention to me line. Kevin Stefanski said it. He is committed to getting better every single week. That's coach speaks of we didn't just throw the kid out there. He might be really something, aka we fucked up. So yeah, the Cleveland Browns are 1-2 with him starting and sitting near the bottom of the AFC. But no one expects him to save the season. The mission isn't the 2025 playoffs, it's 2026 and beyond. Chat, what impresses you the most about Shedeur Sanders right now? Excuse me, is it his arm? Is it his poise? Is it his toughness? Or is it his charisma on the mic? Let me know down in the comments down below. But let's address the elephant in the dog pound. Let's address the elephant that is in Cleveland. There's tension in Cleveland. The Browns own 2 first-round picks in 2026 NFL draft. You know what that means? Quarterback rumors are swirling all over the city like lake effects. No. We don't know if Deshaun Watson's going to be back. We don't know if Gator's going to be back. We don't even know if Shedeur Sanders is the guy. Matter of fact, the coaching staff, general manager, didn't even want Shedeur Sanders. Front office has a choice. Do you roll into 2026 with Shedeur Sanders as quarterback 1? Or do you hit the reset button again and spend a big draft capital on a quarterback again and hope for the best again? And a lot of that decision is going to ride on these next 4 weeks. You play the Bears, Bills, Steelers, and Bengals. Different defenses, different looks, 4 more data points on Shedeur Sanders. And then you hear him say, I'm thankful for it, but I'm not content. That's not a stopgap thinking. That's a guy quietly saying, I'm coming for that job. He's not holding a clipboard. He's grabbing the mic and demanding a seat at the table. What do I like most about Shedeur Sanders? He's not talking about 2026. He's talking about the Chicago Bears this week. He's taking his reads, his accuracy, leadership in the huddle, making them impossible for them to move on from me. He doesn't need the Browns to announce his future. He wants to play in a way that makes them realize they've found their guy. The Bears' pass defense is sitting middle of the pack this season. Not elite, but not terrible either. This is a very, very winnable matchup for the Cleveland Browns. This is a statement opportunity for Shedeur Sanders. If he keeps stacking games, cleans up the completion percentage, keeps the touchdown to interception ratio positive, shows command at the line and in the huddle, that front office is going to have a real hard time turning the page on him in April. Browns fans, NFL fans, and all you haters and doubters out there, is Shedeur Sanders playing his way into be a full-time QB next year, or will Cleveland chase another quarterback and hit the reset button again? In the comments down below, type QB1 if you think he should be the guy in 2026. Or type new QB if you think the Browns should draft someone else. If you love this kind of live, raw, untucked NFL talk, guys, do me a favor and hit that like button down below. Smash the subscribe button. Remember, we're live Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. East Coast time right here, youtube.com/MenHour. Now, this is a live interactive show, so get into your comments, bring your Shedeur takes, and be a part of the conversation. And so, man, River, Mr. John Peoples himself,
Pigskin pun. Get you some.
Says Shedeur Sanders will be QB1 next season. He says, Cleveland Browns, you need to stop looking at Dylan Gabriel. You need to stop drooling over Baker Mayfield. You need to stop thinking that Deshaun Watson's going to come back and save your team. You have a savior right here. In Shedeur Sanders. Look, right. You have him right there. That is the man, the myth, the legend, baby. And John says he likes his confidence. Likes a little bit of swag in him. And Jim Powell saying the same thing.
Pigskin
loves the
pun.
confidence.
Get you some.
Listen, the greatest thing about so what separates a average NFL player from a great NFL player is confidence. You got to have confidence in yourself. You have to have the I'm better than that person, better than him. I'm going to outwork him. Because let's just be flat out honest. Everybody in the NFL has the same abilities. Truth be told, from quarterback 1 down to quarterback 25, they all can throw the ball 60 yards. They're all pretty damn accurate. They all can run. They all can read. They can all do this. What does Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Matthew Stafford, Jared Goff have over the other guys that are below them? It's confidence. When you are confident in yourself, you speak better. You present yourself better. You carry yourself better. And when Shedeur Sanders is confident, look what he does. 360 yards. Now, I've heard everybody say, oh, it's the Tennessee Titans, worst defense in the NFL. Stop it. It's still a NFL team. It's still a NFL defense. It is still rookie playing a veteran defense. So stop it with it's the Titans. It doesn't matter. 360 plus yards, 3 touchdowns. Yes, an interception. But night and day from his first start to this start. That's just 3 weeks, and he's already doing this. Oof. But Kyler Murray. Guys, Kyler Murray has officially been shut down for the rest of the 2025 NFL season. But does anybody actually believe that his foot is the real reason? Because this whole storyline smelled like somebody stuffed the truth into a gym bag and hid it under the back of the facility for weeks on end. Guys, the Arizona Cardinals are 3-10, dead in the NFC West. And now suddenly Kyler Murray is much further away from returning than they thought a few weeks ago. Yeah, sure. Okay, we totally believe you. Chat real quick. From a scale of 1 to 10, how sus is the whole Kyler Murray situation to you? Drop a number in the comments down below. Guys, let's rewind this thing. Let's take a step back. Let's zoom back the lens because the timeline doesn't quite add up. Because when you think about this, let's flash back to Monday Night Football versus the Dallas Cowboys earlier this season. All the reports all week, Kyler is on track to make a return. Kyler is starting. He's training up. He's taking reps. Everybody's saying he looks good. And then bada bing, bada boom, 4 hours before kickoff, they suddenly announce he's out. Nope, not going to play. Arizona goes out and beats the Dallas Cowboys without him. They moved to 3-8 at the time. And then magically, the message shifts to, Kyler's actually much further away than returning than we thought. Kyler Murray's not progressing in the right way. Kyler Murray's going to go on IR. Now, fast forward to December. Jonathan Gannon steps to the mic and says Kyler Murray will not return for the rest of the season. Shut down, season over. Meanwhile, this is a team that's now 3-10. Bottom 5 in points per game, bottom 10 in total offense, hasn't made the playoffs in 4 straight years. It feels like a little bit too convenient because it is. Guys, if you feel it's a little bit inconvenient, type down injury or business in the chat. Is this actually an injury or is this a business decision? Guys, here's the official version. The team blog says that Kyler Murray's foot injury wasn't progressing in a way that we wanted. We got a second opinion. They ran some more tests, and then they determined that he wasn't ready. They put him on IR. They kept hitting that he could be back. Yeah, he'll be back. Yeah, stop. This week was the first week he could have been activated, and right when that window opens, they slam it shut. Gannon even says, "I just feel bad for the quarterback." Then he gets asked the big question. Will Kyler Murray be the Arizona Cardinals quarterback next season? And then Jonathan Gannon starts dodging those bullets, right? dodging it like it's a free rusher off the edge. I'm worried about the Rams right now. We're on to LA. We're on to LA. Translation, we don't want to talk about it. Well, he will be here next year because he won't be here next year. Now let's layer this contract into reality, right? Because Kyler Murray is about to get $36.8 million guaranteed for the 2026 NFL season. If he's on the roster 5 days after the 2027 league year opens, that's another $19.5 million that locks in. Roughly $57 to $58 million of potential guarantees that they're staring at. You really think they want him back on the field behind a 3-10 team? You really think they want him banged up behind that offensive line, risking another major injury that locks all that money in? Chat, if you were the GM, what would you risk that contract on? Meaningless December games? Yes or no? That's the question. Because the real reason, they're protecting their assets. Let's call it what it looks like. If Kyler Murray was truly nowhere close to being healthy, he wouldn't have been back on track to play against the Dallas Cowboys. You don't go from he's almost back to see you next year by accident. This isn't about injury, it's about inventory. Kyler Murray is an asset. Former number 1 overall pick, multiple Pro Bowls, dual threat, still only in his late 20s. If you are the Cardinals, you already know you're likely moving on. You do not put that guy back on the field at 3-10. You bubble wrap him. You protect the trade value. Meanwhile, the offense will be surviving with Jacoby Brissett. He has about 2,400 yards passing, 12 touchdowns to 9 interceptions, completing around 63% of his throws. Trey McBride is having another breakout year, right around 900 yards receiving, leading the team in targets and receptions. You still got Marvin Harrison Jr. in the building. When healthy, clearly a number 1 receiver talent. Plus 2 first-round picks coming in the year 2026. The writing just isn't just on the wall, it's on a neon bullet billboard, guys. Arizona is quietly sliding the keys away from Kyler, parking it in the Murray era. Chat, do you think Kyler has already played his last snap as a Cardinal? Type last snap if you think he's done there. Let me know. Well, you got to ask yourself this. Man Hour Nation picks and pundits, ask yourself this. If the Cardinals truly believe Kyler was their guy long-term, would they shut him down in December with playoff hopes still technically alive a few weeks ago? No. Would you keep giving foggy non-answers about his progress? No. Would every question about his future be met with, we're focused on this week? No. Not a chance. If he was the guy, they'll be saying it loudly, proudly, with their chest out over and over and over again. Instead, you got a losing record, a massive, complicated contract, a shining young receiver, Marvin Harrison Jr., 2 first-round picks in 2026, and a coaching staff clearly more comfortable hitting reset than building their future. This offseason is an extra ramp, and this is where you'll see trade rumors firing up, cap gymnastics, maybe a post-June move to spread dead money. Teams that could make sense for Kyler Murray. The Raiders, the Jets, and maybe even a surprise team like the Vikings might come out, right? Arizona is easing the fan base into a breakup. But when that league calendar flips, the Band-Aid is coming off. So, guys, what happens next for Kyler Murray? Is he getting traded this offseason? And if so, what team makes the most sense to give him a fresh start and rebuild his value? Drop your predictions right now in the comments down below. Give me a team and the comp. What should Kyler trade look like? If you like live, raw, uncut NFL talk, guys, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, share this with a couple friends as well. Remember, we are live Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. East Coast time right here at youtube.com/manhour. Now, this is a live interactive show, so get this Kyler Murray takes rolling in. Be a part of the conversation. A man, James Frank, says Kyler Murray to the Jets. The Jets will 100% be looking for a quarterback this offseason. Justin Fields was not the answer. He's been benched. He is on the outside looking in. Maybe we can potentially see him come in the last 3 weeks of the season here and do what Bryce Young did for the Carolina Panthers. Got benched for 3 or 4 games last season, come in and started clicking, and now look at what Bryce Young is doing, right? However, I think their Jets have an eye on a different prize. They they had their eyes on a guy named Daniel Jones. I think Daniel Jones goes back to New York. And if that domino falls, Kyler Murray to Indianapolis could be a perfect fit. Because what does Shane Steichen offense look like? A bunch of RPO, short, intermediate passes. What does Kyler Murray excel at? RPO, short, intermediate passes. Now, I like your Jets talk, but I don't think I don't think the Jets are it. I think the Indianapolis Colts are it. But we'll see. Rex says last snap, draft a QB in the first round. So, Rex, thank you for your comment, though, by the way. Let me ask you this question. Because many, many times when a team decides to move on from a franchise quarterback that they drafted a few years ago, a smart organization will have the coach on their way out as well, unless you're the Chicago Bears. So, if they are moving on from Kyler Murray, is Jonathan Gannon get the axe too? Because I think you got to cut off both. Pop, pop. Get them both out of town real quick. Now, I can already hear the exit interview happening now. Jonathan Gannon is doing this, shutting down Kyler Murray, because he was never, quote, his guy. Give me a chance to draft my guy. You know who else did this? The Chicago Bears. Old, not Matt Eberflus, the guy before him. Who was it? Rex something? I can't even remember. He came in there, didn't have his quarterback there, losing. Old Smoking Jay went to the Broncos. They drafted their quarterback. He got fired the next season, and then insert Matt Eberflus. Oh, this isn't my quarterback. Let me get this quarterback out of here. Let me draft a quarterback. Like, you have to sever off at the both times. It is kind of like pulling weeds out of this side of the garden, but not getting this, and then pissed off because this weed's going. It just doesn't make sense. They both got to go. And Rex says yes. Gannon and Kyler Murray are both finito at the end of the season. Black Monday's going to be ugly. Was it January 4th this year, 5th? It's going to be ugly. James Frank says that makes sense. That makes sense. Send Kyler Murray to Indianapolis. James, you know I'm a smart man. You a pigskin putty. You know what's up. You know what's good, brother. You know what is good, but we know what is not good right now. Guys, the Kansas City Chiefs are not used to hurting like this. 9 straight years of owning the AFC West, and now we're watching the Kansas City Chiefs stumble into December like a heavyweight champion who suddenly realizes his legs are gone. Sitting at 6-7 and third in the AFC West, right behind the Denver Broncos at 11-2 and the LA Chargers at 9-4. This is the first time since 2015 that the Chiefs are out of the divisional race. And right in the middle of all the frustration is the heartbeat of the offense, Travis Kelce. Wearing his emotion louder than arrowheads on a playoff night. Chat, on a scale of 1 to 10, how cooked do you think the Kansas City Chiefs season is right now? Drop your number down below. 1 meaning they're fine, or 10 meaning they're cooked. Guys, 13 years in the NFL, thousands of big moments, and for the first time ever, Travis Kelce has a game where he has more drops than catches. Against the Houston Texans, he had 1 catch, 8 yards, and 2 brutal drops. That's not Travis Kelce football. On the season through 13 games, he has 60 catches, 727 yards, and 5 touchdowns. That puts him around 23rd in the league in catches and low 20s in touchdowns. A major drop from a guy who lived in the top 5 for nearly a decade. And this is the same season he became the Chiefs' all-time leading touchdown catchers at 84 back in October. On his podcast, he let it rip, Northern Heights podcast. He says, you put in all this freaking work and hope that it pays off, and this year is just not. That's not a dude making excuses. That's a Hall of Famer looking around like, why don't the answers work anymore? Chat, does this make you more sympathetic or more worried? Type pathetic or worried in the comments down below for Travis Kelce. And let's get to the breaking point. Let's talk about the gut punch. Late in the fourth quarter, down 7 to Houston, Kelce drops 1. And then drops another. The second one pops off his hands and turns into Mahomes' third interception of the game. Final chance, final gasp, gone. Mahomes is sitting around 3,400 yard passing yards this season, but that throw wasn't about padding stats. That was a trust ball. This was I need my guy ball. And after Kelce doesn't explode, doesn't point fingers, he sits in a locker, fully dressed, head in his hands, long after most of the locker room is cleared out. That picture says more than any press conference. This is killing him. Chat, have you ever seen Travis Kelce look so defeated? Yes or no? Patrick Mahomes tried to steady the ship after the game. He said, and I quote, he'll have the option to do whatever he wants after the season. But he's going to give everything he has to give us in the playoffs. That sounds supportive, but also sounds like a man who knows the clock is ticking. That line felt halfway between encouragement and a soft goodbye. Analytics have the Kansas City Chiefs playoff chance right around 12%. 4 AFC games left. Every one of them basically is an elimination game. You lose, you're done. Mahomes is smart. He knows time is undefeated, even against a guy like Travis Kelce. And this might be the first clear sign that Father Time is officially on the field. Chat, is Kelce's final real season as the elite tight end, or do you think he's got one more big year left in him? Type done or one more in the chat below. The loss to Houston did not just drop them to 6-7. It snapped an era. It's AFC right now. Broncos are sitting at 11-2. They're cruising. Chargers sitting at 9-4. A pretty big what if. Chargers 6-7. The Raiders 4-9. For 9 years, the question was, can anyone catch the Chiefs? Now it's, can the Chiefs catch a wild card spot? Kelce said it bust. If there's a game to be played, I'm going to make the most important game in the world. That's belief talking. That's pride talking. But the production on the field, drop passes, miscommunication, an offense that used to make impossible feel normal, now struggling to make routine look possible. Chat, what is the bigger issue? Is it Travis Kelce, play calling, or the wide receiver room? Drop 87 or coaching in the comments of what the bigger issue is in Kansas City. But now let's get to the heart of the matter. This isn't about age or regression charts. This is about a superstar who has built his name on being for his quarterback, his teammates, and his city. And for the first time, it feels like he's let everybody down. He said it himself. It's a terrible feeling, man. You put in all this work to be there for your guys, and this is what happens. That's not fantasy stats talking. That's legacy talk. That's loyalty talk. That's what makes this moment feel so heavy for him, for Mahomes, and the entire Chiefs dynasty. Man Hour Nation. Is this just a rough chapter in Travis Kelce and the Chiefs story, or are we watching the beginning of the end of the dynasty? Comment right now. Is there still hope in Kansas City, or is the fun run finally fading? Live, raw, untucked NFL talk, guys, every Monday through Friday at 7 p.m. East Coast time right here at YouTube.com. Now, this is a live interactive show, so comment down below, and let's talk about the Chiefs and where they go from here. James Frank says it is not Travis Kelce. It's not the wide receiver room. It's not Patrick Mahomes. It's coaching. It's peer coaching, baby. Matter of fact, James, we talked about this on Monday, if I'm not mistaken. It was on a buy or sell. We're like, buy or sell, baby. Who's to blame? The players or the coaching? I said 60% coaching. It's almost like you watched the show, James. And he says Travis Kelce has one more year. I think elite Travis Kelce is officially done. I think thinking that Travis Kelce is going to be the man, the myth, the legend, the guy that breaks that 60-yard touchdown 13 seconds versus the Buffalo Bills is done. It's over. We haven't seen it this year. Hell, we barely saw it last year. Forget who it was, but on Monday's show when I was on, because Shay was on last night, they said, dog, Travis Kelce's been done for 2.5 years. I was like, well, slow down, baby. Looking back on it, the man's right. Travis Kelce has not been a scary threat for about 2 years. Yes, he was great the first half of the back-to-back Super Bowls, right? But then beyond that, Travis Kelce, who? We saw Rashid Rice come on late because Travis Kelce was fading. Haven't seen much of Travis Kelce this year either. Like, that is tough. That's tough. James also says, I'm going to give him a 5. They looked cooked, but it's still Mahomes, still Kelce, still Andy Reid. And the gang, so realistically, I will not count them out until they lose this week to the Chargers. Rex McCleaning says, yes, in the Super Bowl, they got dominated and people are looking at the tap and they're winning against them. Yes, in the Super Bowl, they got dominated. So yes, flashback to last year's Super Bowl, they 100% got dominated. No question about that. And people are looking at the tap, and they're winning against them. I'm not sure what you're trying to say there, Rex. Sorry, buddy. George Lucas in the chat. What's up, George? Says Andy blew it against the Texans. Poor coaching. He did. 100%. I think we all agree that. We agreed that on Monday, but right now I think Travis Kelce is simply over the hill. I think he's over the hill. Father Time is here on the field with us. It's time to get some cold, hard facts.
No sugar, no spice, no sweet disguise. The truth is a blade that cuts through lies. No fluff, no frills, just a raw steel bite. Cold hard facts, they don't play nice. Sharp as ice, no need to think twice. Cold hard facts, they hit, they slice. All truth, no fluff, no dice.
Alrighty, man, our nation. It is time for cold, hard facts. If you've not seen this statement before, guys, here's how it works. I'm going to lay down some straight facts. No fluff, no sugarcoating, just real, undeniable truth about what's going on in the NFL world. Guys, we're cutting through all the noise and getting through what is true, what's happening in the real NFL room. No room for debate here. Guys, these are facts that you can take to the bank. So buckle up, because I'm about to jump knowledge on some cold, hard facts.
They don't play nice. Sharp as ice, no need to think twice. Cold hard facts, they hit, they slice. All truth, no fluff, no dice.
All right, guys, so the cold, hard fact is this. Geno Smith and Pete Carroll are one and done in Vegas this season. Not because I want it, because the numbers, the tape, the 2025 season itself are screaming it in our faces. Guys, the Las Vegas Raiders sold us of this rebirth. What we got was rock bottom. Chat, real quick. Type stay if you think they deserve another year, or go if you're ready to move on from Pete Carroll and Geno Smith. Guys, when the season kicked off, the hype was legit. New head coach coming in, Pete Carroll. He was a culture guy, Super Bowl champion, the energy higher. The energy was fire, right? And you got a veteran quarterback in Geno Smith, the comeback story, the Pro Bowler, the supposed to be steady the ship type of guy. The pitch was stability now and maybe even a sticky playoff push. Instead, what do we get? Epic collapse. Guys, right now the Raiders are sitting at 2-11, near the bottom of the AFC. Offensively, it's been a full-blown disaster under Pete Carroll and the staff. 32nd in points scored, dead last in the entire NFL. 31st in total offense, that's about 257 yards per game. 32nd in rushing, that's about 72 yards per game. And red zone and fishing, dead last as well. That's not a rebuild, that's a regression. This was supposed to be the get-right year. Instead, it's a blow-up and start-over year. Chat, grade this season for the Raiders offense. A, B, C, D, or F. If you say anything about D or F, you're absolutely crazy. Guys, Geno came in with the story, right? Former Pro Bowler, career vibed in Seattle, accurate, efficient, good in structure. Vegas handed him to the keys and said, be the adult in the room. His 2025 numbers right now, 2,600 yards passing, 16 touchdowns, 14 interceptions, one of the highest totals in the league, about 67% completion percentage, and a QBR of 32.5. That's 30th in the NFL. Bottom tier starter at best. That's just not. That's we need to start looking around for your replacement type of territory. And it's just not the box score, guys. It's the timing of the mistakes, the costly turnovers and blowout losses to the Colts, right? Back-breaking picks in the second half when the team actually had a chance. Drives where the Raiders needed a response, and instead they got a turnover or a 3-and-out. And then the middle finger to the crowd to walk off. Every time the Raiders needed Geno Smith to be calm in the storm, the veteran presence, the closer, he has simply cracked under pressure. Chat, is this a Geno's problem or an offensive system problem? Type Geno or system in the comments down below. I'm not for sure it could be a system. Chip Kelly's gone, but hey. Pete Carroll's comeback story went off the rails real quick. Because Pete Carroll to Vegas was sold like a movie script, guys. The old school culture builder. The guy who turned Seattle into a winner. The coach who just knows how to win. The coach who just knows ball. But less than one full season, and it's clear the magic didn't travel. Under Pete Carroll, 2-11, worst scoring offense in the NFL, 31st in total yards, no identity on offense, no rhythm, no week-to-week growth. This was supposed to be a slow, patient rebuild. This was pitched as we're competing right now. Instead, they're flirting with the worst record in franchise history. Special teams, inconsistent. Red zone offense, ugly. Locker room energy, you can feel the air leaking out of the balloon. It's not like the roster is totally empty. There are weapons on this team, but the scheme, the turnovers, the lack of adjustment have buried them week after week after week. And at some point, this stops being a player execution. Instead, it becomes a head coach didn't get the job done issue. So here's where we're at, guys. Geno Smith and Pete Carroll in Vegas, that experiment failed. The vibe is broken. The record is ugly. The numbers say it's over. If you're running the Raiders, are you drafting a rookie quarterback and pairing him with a proven offensive mind? Or are you blowing the thing up from the trenches, O-line, D-line, and punting it to a quick fix? Guys, drop your answers. Should the Raiders draft a quarterback or total trench rebuild in the comments? Guys, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Remember, we're live Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. East Coast time, right here at youtube.com. Drop your comments and tell me who you would hire in Vegas. Let's get loud in the comments about the Raiders' future. George Lucas says, going, gone. Pete and Geno are alligator. And James Sank says, poor Gentry and Bowers. Listen here, James Frank. I'm not saying Gentry is a bust, but Gentry is a bust. The man did not win a Heisman for a reason. He had all the stats in college. Cool, whatever, right? Look who you're playing against, Division II guys. You were a Division I team playing against a bunch of Division II guys at the end of the day. Let's call it what it is. Bust. Now, Brock Bowers, that guy's a dog. And James Frank is giving the Raiders season a big fat F, baby. That was my GPA in high school. F. And James says, whoa, slow down, baby. Don't fire Geno. You got Bowers. You got Zinti. You got a couple receivers. I can't think of the name right now because you traded Jacoby Myers, if I'm not mistaken, right? Build it from the inside out. Start with the good offensive line because the offensive line sucks. Maybe Geno would be playing better if he had better offensive line. Who knows? Trench rebuild, he says. Trench rebuild. But guys, next up here on the cold hard facts. The cold hard fact is that Mike McDaniel saved his job in Miami this season. Guys, there was a point in the season where it looked like the lights were about to go out on Mike McDaniel in Miami. People were already mock drafting his replacement. His seat was hotter than hot. Everybody wanted him out. But here we are in December. Not only is he still standing, he's earning himself another spot. Hell, they might even make the playoffs. Here's why Mike McDaniel has saved his job. Chat, before we get too carried away, type saved if you think he earned it, or lucky if you think he just survived the chaos. Guys, let's flash back to earlier this season. Early 2025 NFL season, the Dolphins were a mess. They opened up the season 1-6. The offense was flat. The big name speed and talent looked like window dressing. The same old questions pop back up. Is Tua the guy? Is McDaniel just a scheme wizard or a real leader? Is Tyreek Hill a cancer? On and on and on. Has that locker room already checked out? Local media, national media, talk shows, a lot of people already had a new coach penciled in for 2026. It felt like a slump. It felt like a complete crash. But instead of losing the locker room, McDaniel dug in. He adjusted the game plans. He leaned into the ground game, and he kept players that bought in. And slowly, the tides have turned. They're now 6-7, still alive in the AFC playoff picture and sitting at third in the AFC East. That's not where they wanted to be, but it's a long way from being dead man walking. Chat, grade McDaniel's coaching job so far this year. A, B, C, D, or F. Now, the turnaround has been real. The run game has been real. The defense has been real, and they put up a real fight. Since that 1-6 disaster start, Miami has gone 5-1 in their last 6. That's not luck. That's a reset. Let's talk the numbers. Overall, 22nd in total yards. Not elite, but no longer bottom feeding. Passing, around 25th. Tua has been up and down, but he's still about 2,400 yards passing this season. Rushing, 30th overall this season, but the run game has popped off lately. Stephon Achane has been the fart. Give the man the ball. Give him the ball over and over and over again. He has over 1,100 yards rushing this season. Explosive chunk plays that have changed drives and flipped field position. That's what Achane does. Jalen Waddle is quietly stacking up a solid year. 800 yards receiving, still that reliable chain mover when they actually scheme in him right. And defensively, they tighten things up. They're around 15th in total defense. Pass rush is finally getting home, keeping games close instead of getting run out of the building before halftime. That 5-1 stretch just didn't happen by accident. It's been adjustments. It's been buying in. That's leadership from the head coach and buying in from the players. And here's the key piece. General manager Chris Gear got fired on October 31st. Front office gone. McDaniel stayed. That tells you who ownership believes in. Chat, is this a real turnaround, or is Miami just beating up on bad teams? Type real or type fool's gold? That's the big question. But here's the thing. The NFL doesn't judge coaches on playbook. It's culture, it's accountability, and can you keep guys fighting when the season looks cooked? McDaniel had that 1-6 start. Media heat. GM fired mid-season. Questions about the quarterback, his toughness, and his leadership, and if he's sober. A lot of coaches lose their locker room in that storm. Miami didn't. They played harder. They leaned into each other. They turned dysfunction into just enough cohesivity to matter in December. In a league where some coaches get canned after one bad year, that's kind of response from your players. That's job security. That's why analysts now expect McDaniel to be back in 2026. The bigger issue going on in Miami right now, is it coaching or roster construction after the GM change? That's the big question. So, guys, where do you stand? Man Hour Nation, where do you stand? Is Mike McDaniel the guy to lead Miami back to a true contender status, or did he just pull off one late season accept to buy him more time, not trophies? The Dolphins are 6-7, middle of the pack on offense, average on defense, but playing meaningful football in December. Right now, down in the comments down below, comment contender if you think McDaniel's got him there, or buying time if you think this is just another reset. Subscribe, hit the like button. Remember, we're live Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. East Coast time, right here, youtube.com/manhour. Drop your comments down below. George Lucas has simply put, he saved his job. 100%. 100% saved his job. But Old Man River, that's not what. My bad.
Pigskin pun. Get you some.
He said he's Fugazi. They Fugazi. This is the same Miami Dolphins team that got blown out by the Indianapolis Colts week 1. This is the same Miami Dolphins team that got their butt kicked week 2. This is the same Miami Dolphins team that week 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, they look dog poo-poo. Number 1 overall pick. And you know what, Old Man River? I think you might be right. Because when you look at it, look who they played. They played the Buffalo Bills. Not very good. They played the Jets. Not very good. Titans. Not very good. So, they might be Fugazi, but 100% saved his job. James Frank says, I think he's a good coach, but buying time in Miami, he'll end up being a great coach somewhere else. And James, this is where I got to disagree with you. I do not think he is a good head coach. He is a good offensive schemer. He can tell you what plays to run or think plays that should work. He is a good right-hand man, But when he is the man, he's clearly not the guy. There are some people that are just better off being coordinators. There are just some people better off being assistants and positional coaches. I just don't think he is a good head coach. James Frank says he will still be in Miami next year, though, and I agree with that. I agree with that. But guys, the final cold hard fact of the day. Cold hard fact is this: the Indianapolis Colts are going to miss the playoffs. I've said it all season long. I've been telling you guys this all season long. Now, don't get it twisted. The Colts look better in 2024, but they're not a Super Bowl team. I even said it wouldn't shock me if they finish with the losing record after this season. And that's where they're heading, guys. And right now, everything you're seeing is pointing toward one ugly truth. The Indianapolis Colts are on the verge of missing the playoffs. Chat, type gone if you think they're done in the playoffs, or hope if you still see them making the playoffs. Now, this team started off hot. 8-2. On top of the AFC South, hell, on top of the AFC, they look like a legit Super Bowl contender, look like a legit playoff contender, but then reality punched them back. I told you guys this from the beginning. There are cracks showing in their foundation. They dropped back-to-back games to the Kansas City Chiefs and the Houston Texans, and they got smacked by the Jacksonville Jaguars. And now they're sitting at 8-5. Yes, they're still alive on paper, but the momentum is gone. And the vibes have completely flipped from contender to, oh shit, what we do with our hands. That 8-2 start feels like a season ago. That 8-2 start was fool's gold. That 8-2 start was fugazi. Because when you look at the remaining schedule, guys, it is a gauntlet. They play the Seattle Seahawks. A nasty defense, loudest crowd in football, playoff atmosphere every week in Seattle right now. And then you come back home, play the San Francisco 49ers. Battle-tested, physical, elite defense that smells blood in the water. And then you play the Jacksonville Jaguars, a division rival that just beat them, isn't scared of Indianapolis at all. And then you travel to Houston to take on the Houston Texans, young, hungry, fighting for seeding, and ready to slam the door on the rival with the best defense in the NFL. Daniel Jones is gone. Riley Leonard is injured. You bring in 44-year-old Phillip Rivers. What are they doing? Yes, Jonathan Taylor is doing his part. 1,300 yards rushing this season. But when the defense loads of Boston and dares Phillip Rivers to beat them, what are they going to do? It's just, the facts are they're going to miss the playoffs. They have a brutal closing schedule and the offense that's losing rhythm, and a defense that cannot always blow them out. That's not a playoff recipe. That's an outlier for late season collapse, like I've been telling you guys. Right now, guys, what is the bigger issue in Indy? Chat, is it a QB, play calling, or defense? What are you most worried about? Now, here is where the reality stings. Teams that start 7-1 and 8-2 are supposed to cruise into the postseason. Historically, when they miss the playoffs, is remembered as a full-on collapse. And that's the territory that the Colts are flirting with right now. Sitting at 8-5, if they just lose 2 more games, they'll finish 9-8. In the AFC, with the tiebreakers and conference record, there's a very real chance they'll be on the outside looking in. With Seattle, 49ers, Jaguars, and Houston left, 2 more losses is not some hot take, it's likely. Matter of fact, losing all the games is likely. This isn't just bad luck. This is just almost, this is legit fall from grace for another 8-2 start. Chat, comment down below. How many wins do you think the Colts will end this year with? 8, 9, 10, 11? Let me know. Guys, the cold hard fact is this. The Indianapolis Colts will not make the playoffs. Sorry to break it to you guys, but that is what it is. It is what it is. And now it's time for a little bit of fact. A little bit of crap.
When there's something strange in the NFL scene, rumors fly wild. What does it mean? You scroll through the feed, it's a clickbait trap. Who you gonna call? Fact or crap? Fact or crap? Bucks on the case. Fact or crap? He'll set it straight. QB drama, trades in the air. Insiders sources, but do they care? From the draft room buzz to the locker chat, Buck breaks it down, fact or crap. Huddle up, huddle tight. Is it wrong, is it right? Buck's got his tweets, he's bringing the fight. Fact or crap?
Alrighty, Man Hour Nation, as we wrap up the show, we're not quite done yet. We're up for our favorite closer, little thing we call Fact or Crap. Guys, here's how it works. I'm going to throw out some so-called facts making around the NFL world. And together, we're going to figure out, are they the real deal or if it's nothing but hot garbage. We'll cut through the noise, breaking down the hype, and declaring what's worth buying into. If it's a fact, we're calling it out. If it's crap, we're going to bury it. So guys, buckle up, grab your snacks, lock in, because it's time to get real. Is it fact or just a whole lot of crap, baby? All right, guys, so the first fact or crap of the night. Fact or crap, guys, should the Commanders shut down Jayden Daniels for the season? Guys, let's talk about health, future value, and whether this isn't a logical to play him again in the NFL season. Guys, Jayden Daniels is hurting again. The Commanders announced that he will not play Week 15 versus the New York Football Giants. Marcus Mariota will make his 7th start this season. Daniels has already missed 3 games after that gruesome elbow injury back in Week 9. You all thought he was done for a long, long time. He comes back Week 14, and what happens? Takes another big hit, injured the same arms, exits the game 31-0, lost to Minnesota, and never returns. X-rays showed no new structural damage, but the doctors flat out refused to clear him, which tells you everything you need to know. And here's the kicker. The Commanders are 3-10, and they're officially eliminated from playoff competition. So let's talk about the obvious question here. Why in the world are we talking about putting him back on the field? Guys, Jayden Daniels was the number 2 overall pick. He is the future of this franchise. He has immense value to the Commanders, not in Week 16, but for the next decade. This season, it's already lost. There is zero benefit of sending him back into battle behind a shaky offensive line, running an offense that hasn't protected him all year long. He only plays 7 of 13 games. He's been banged up multiple times this season, and this coaching staff has already admitted mistakes. Dan Quinn himself said earlier this whole season he regrets leaving Daniels in a blowout versus Seattle where the elbow injury first happened. Would you think lesson learned? But no. They're still allowing the possibility of Daniels returning. That's not brave, it's simply reckless. Do not risk the franchise quarterback for a season that's already at a funeral. So guys, fact or crap? Should the Commanders shut down Jayden Daniels for the season? Guys, I'm simply calling it a fact. It's not even a debate. His health matters more than $3 million this game. Protect your investment. Let Daniels heal. Live to fight another year. Washington already ruined RG3 by rushing him back. You cannot repeat history. But what do you think, Man Hour Nation? Fact or crap? Should the Commanders roll the dice and play Daniels again or shut him down and protect his future? Drop your thoughts in the comments down below. This is a live and after show. Subscribe, hit the like button, and share this with a couple friends as well. My man George Lucas says fact. Fact, baby. George Lucas, I agree with you. Last year, I thought the Commanders overachieved. And this year, I thought they're going to be a little bit down. Matter of fact, that's a lot. I think it's at 7-10. This is not a Jayden Daniels thing. This is a fundamentally scheming issue. This is a coaching issue. Dan Quinn's not a good head coach. That's just what it is. James Frank says, fact. They need to shut that shit down for the rest of the year. Shut it down, baby. I agree, brother. I agree. And John People says fact as well. I think we're all in agreement. Shut the man down. Live to play another day. But guys, the final fact or crap of the day. Fact or crap. Dallas should be worried about George Pickens' effort versus the Detroit Lions. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. This one is the definition of red flags. Let's start here. Guys, George Pickens is a monster talent. This dude makes circus catches look casual. He's big, he's fast, he's fearless at the catch point. But effort, that's a whole other conversation, and it's not new. Let's rewind back to his Pittsburgh Steelers day. There were plays where Pickens wouldn't even try to block for teammates. Multiple games where he would stop running his routes the moment the ball wasn't coming his way. Body language, meltdown on the sidelines, social media post, throwing his quarterback under on the bus. The infamous moment where the Steelers scored a touchdown and Pickens looked like he just got assigned a week detention. The narrative has always been around George Pickens is great player when he feels like it. And that kind of inconsistency spreads like mold in the locker room. Now, Dallas steps in and says, we can fix him. We can unlock that potential. Cool story, bro. Awesome. Yeah, sure you can. But now the Cowboys fans are watching him jog routes, watching him shut down if the ball doesn't come his way early, watching him throw his hands up instead of fighting for the play. And those whispers from Pittsburgh are sounding a lot louder in Texas right now. The Cowboys are demanding. The spotlight is brutal. The media is unforgiving, and every snap is dissected by national TV media. And if Pickens doesn't love blocking in Pittsburgh, what happens when the Cowboys coaching demands it? What happens when Dak spreads the football around and Pickens gets 5 targets instead of 15? What happens after a tough loss? What happens when the frustration builds again? Cowboys already lived through the era of Amari Cooper disappearing in big game era. They can't afford another wideout with a reputation for going quiet when things get tough. This isn't panic mode yet. But these are the very same behaviors that got him criticized in Pittsburgh. And if you don't address it early, effort issues become culture issues. Because when your star receiver stops trying, young players start thinking it's okay to stop trying. That's how locker rooms rot from the inside out. So guys, fact or crap? Should the Dallas Cowboys be worried about George Pickens' efforts? Guys, I'm calling it fact. I love his upside. I love the highlight reels. I love the plays only he can make. But you better stay on top of this dedication real quick. Because when Pickens locks in, he's a superstar. When he checks out, he disappears. And Dallas cannot afford disappearing hacks in the playoffs. Hell, they couldn't afford it versus the Detroit Lions. But Man Hour Nation, what do you think? Fact or crap? Will George Pickens turn into a star in Dallas? Or will those Pittsburgh Happers follow him to A&T Stadium? Drop your thoughts in the comments down below. This is a live interactive show every Monday through Friday at 7 p.m. East Coast time. Whew. James Frank says, fact, baby. Fact, says James Frank. James Frank knows all about lazy wide receivers. James Frank knows all about culture building. I lied. Cleveland Browns have no culture building, James Frank. George Lucas says, big times fact, baby. You better fix it right now. George Lucas, you're 100% right, brother. You are 100% right. But guys, that's it for Man Hour NFL Talk. We out.
Hey, now it's time to take off. Now I gotta keep it live and raw.